Beloved friends, today we celebrate Palm Sunday, which marks the beginning of the Holy Week, leading us to the great celebration of the Paschal mystery of Christ's death and resurrection. The celebration of Palm Sunday originated in the Jerusalem church around the late 4th century. Palm Sunday's celebration began as a simple celebration consisting of prayers, hymns, and sermons, and the visit to various holy sites throughout the city of Jerusalem. Now, the final site, of course, was the Mount of Olives, where the gospel narrative of the entry of Jesus into Jerusalem was read to the people by the priests. Then the pilgrims would return to the city, reciting, "Blessed is he that comes in the name of the Lord." Although this day is called Palm Sunday, it might be surprising to you that it's only the Gospel of John, chapter 12, in verse 12 to 19, that mentions the word palms, whereas the Synoptic Gospel talk of the crowd waving branches from trees and spreading their cloaks. My dear friends, Palm Sunday celebration as we have it today commemorates the triumphant entry of Jesus into Jerusalem to celebrate the Passover. Now, notice that Jesus' journey towards Jerusalem unfolds over many chapters in the Synoptic Gospels. But our reading today from the Gospel of St. Matthew, chapter 21, describes Jesus' final entry into Jerusalem and the final moments of his earthly ministry. The Gospel described the entry to Jerusalem as a royal entry. He arrives in the city riding on a donkey, while the crowd spread their cloaks and palm branches on the streets, welcoming him as a long-awaited Messiah and King. Now, the entry and the chants of the crowd, "Hosanna to the Son of David," here re-echoes the oracle of Zechariah, which we read in chapters 9, verse 9, which says, "Exalt greatly, O daughter of Zion. Behold, your king is coming to you. A just Savior is he, humble and riding on a donkey." Now, in biblical times, some regional custom called for kings, an important person, to arrive in procession, and they arrived by riding on the back of a donkey, and the donkey symbolizing peace, and those who rode on them proclaimed peace, or at least had peaceful intentions. Thus the crowd declared peace and glory in the highest heavens, echoing the song of the angels at the birth of Christ, because they see in this king the Messiah, the Christ, the King who is to come. My dear friends, today we have the advantage of reading and understanding this story in the 21st century. Hence, we know that the crowd celebrated Jesus because of what they expected of him. That is, getting them ahead politically as a nation. However, when this expectation was not forthcoming, they were disappointed and they chanted a different tone: "Crucify him, crucify him." Now, the question is, how different are we from these people when our expectations of God are not met? When we get sick or go through disappointment in life, where does our faith stand? And let me say this, in my ministry, I have come across Christians who go to church with the sole intention of experiencing miracles in their life or other material benefits. But how quickly does their faith vanish when God does not play their game? The crowd and the Pharisees in our story today did not understand the kingship of Jesus Christ. They did not understand that he came not as a worldly conquering king, but as a sacrificial lamb whose mission was to destroy sin and death and set humanity free from through his own death. Hence, the drama of Palm Sunday portrays Jesus as a non-violent, innocent victim who willingly emptied himself and accepted death on a cross, as the letter of St. Paul to the Philippians chapter 2 tells us today. Now, why did God choose to stoop so low to undergo death in such a cruel way? It is because his death was to be expiatory. The suffering servant does not serve by overpowering. Rather, he serves by emptying himself, taking the form of a servant. My dear friends, Jesus' passion unveils the cruelty, the injustice, the violence, and the betrayal in our world. It exposes the hypocrisy and the infidelities of our society. Therefore, for us to enter into the Holy Week with Him, we need to reflect on the meaning of His cross. Make no mistake, the cross does not explain suffering. Rather, it is a sign of God's faithfulness. It reveals rather than explains. It reveals a God who does not stand outside suffering, but enters it fully so that suffering becomes a place where God has already been. Consequently, to make sense of the cross today, we must discover Him present with us even when our situations do not change and our expectations are not yet met. Therefore, Palm Sunday confronts us with a very vital question, not a comfortable one, in fact. Which Christ are you welcoming? The one who fulfills your expectation or the one who challenges and transforms them? And let's be clear, the real Christ will not just enter your life like He entered Jerusalem as a peaceful king, but He will also overturn things, your attachments, your illusion, and your false securities. So today, dear friends, as we hold our palms, let's not rush into celebration quickly. Let this question stay with us. Which Christ are you welcoming? The real Christ is the one who comes in the name of the Lord to serve. And although His way leads us through the cross, it is the way that leads to true life. May God bless you and welcome to Holy Week.